Okay, so we're here at the Brendan Brine Forest Loop. Gorgeous little spot that is absolutely abandoned today. Honestly, when we pulled in, I didn't know if this was closed for some reason, but there are forest rangers here. But gorgeous little location, so I'm gonna go for a bike ride today. And just like that, we're ready to go. So I will get some footage while we're out on the trail. But should be a good time. Oh, probably have to get my helmet out too. So on this ride, I did learn a couple of things about using the bike. First off, I had only used the throttle for the majority of the ride and hadn't really gotten a chance to test out the pedal assist mode. Only using the throttle on my 10 miles, I nearly drained my battery, whereas in subsequent rides using the pedal assist mode, I only used about 25% of my battery capacity. The bike more than exceeded our expectations. Being a little bit bigger, I was slightly worried that the 500-watt motor wasn't going to quite cut it for us, but it was more than enough even on the lowest pass setting. The upgraded suspension was definitely worth it, and there was little to no effect by having the reduced tire size. With that being said, the standard seat that comes with it just didn't cut it, and I immediately got home and ordered a brand new seat. The following day, I ended up down at the Blackwood Clementon Railroad Trail, where I did a 6.5 mile route. I was trying to stay a little bit more local because I needed to talk with my lawyer that day and wanted to make sure I had cell phone coverage to have the conversation while I was out on my ride. It was going really well until about 100 yards before I returned back to the car and my foot slipped off the pedal and underneath the rear tire, popping out my right knee. When this happened, I wasn't able to put any weight on it. Immediately went home and iced it, and when it wasn't feeling better the next morning, I went to urgent care. Once at urgent care, they did some x-rays, and they discovered that I didn't have any broken bones or fluid in the knee, and at that point, they left me with the suspicion of a torn ACL, and they wanted me to follow up with an orthopedic surgeon to confirm their findings. On Wednesday, I met with Dr. Daniels, the orthopedic surgeon they had recommended, and he did a full assessment on my knee. Luckily, he does not think I have torn my ACL, merely hyperextended it, which is great news because it means instead of several months of rehab, I can simply do 2 to 4 weeks of physical therapy, and I should be back to full strength at the end of that. Before we got the positive report from my surgeon, letting me know that I'd only need the PT, Christy had talked to her friend Nicole, who had volunteered her husband Jeff to come up and assist us with the build and some of the more complicated parts that I wasn't going to be able to do while non-weight bearing, like pulling out the remaining styrofoam and the ceiling panels. And while I can resume and do some work on the bus right now, I still will be limited, so his help will be greatly appreciated. They are actually going to be coming up to visit us uh, in a week and a half, and our plan is to utilize Jeff's help to finish removing the steel panels and the insulation. Being that Jeff is a general contractor, we plan on utilizing his many skills and talents. The first priority is removing those ceiling panels and insulation. However, if there's still a little time, we would like to get his assistance in mounting the unistrut for our solar panels. So this weekend, we are not going to be working on the bus. We have instead made our way down to Atlanta. We're staying at the Clemton overland just outside Hartfield-Jacksonville Airport here in Atlanta, and we're going to be spending some time with my grandfather. My aunt and cousins are spending the weekend out at their lake house in Alabama, and my grandfather was going to be staying in town by himself, so we decided it was a great opportunity to come and visit. Christy and I haven't really seen him since the pandemic first started, and we really wanted to take this opportunity to get some one-on-one time with him because we really haven't had that in quite a while. So we hope you all join us next week, where we'll bring you some of our adventures from down here in Atlanta, introduce you to my grandfather, and get back to our build. Next week we are hoping to get our first under storage compartment mounted, which is really exciting. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you next week.